Welcome to Third Eye Chakra Meditation. I hope everyone got the notice that this was early today, but if not, you can always watch it recorded. So tonight we're going to talk about the third eye chakra, which is the center right here between your brow, and it is in Sanskrit called the Ajna chakra. It means to perceive or to command, and it is where our intuition resides. And I know we talked about the intuition being really feeling it in our solar plexus, but now we're going to talk about where it really resides, right here in between our third eye. I think it resides throughout our body, like we can feel it all throughout our intuition, but the knowledge comes in through our third eye chakra, I suppose we could say. So we call it our third eye because it presides over our mind and our sense of self, and it's where we see outside of what's really going on. Where we know, not only see, but we also know and understand, where have that sense of belief in something else, I suppose. So that, with this chakra, it physically governs anything up in our skull area. So our brain, our mind, our eyes, our ears, our nose, and then also at the base of our skull. So the very back of your skull, I don't know if you can see the back of my skull, but if you touch back there, there's this little soft indentation at the base of your skull, and that's called your occipital lobe. And there are some beliefs that that area is where divine energy can enter. So it also resides energetically over that area back there. Our third eye can be very deficient. When we're young, it's very active. And we trust and we know and we see a lot of things, and the rest of the world begins to tell us that those things aren't right, that those things aren't real. And then we shut that down. But we also have things in our environment and the food that we put in our body and things like that, toxins that can enter our body that calcify it and make it deficient or even inactive altogether. I don't know that there's an actual way to measure how deficient it is, but we can see how calcified it has become. So one of the main things that will calcify it's our pineal gland is what's getting calcified. It's not our third eye, but that's what's considered to be our third eye. And that can be calcified by fluoride. And there's fluoride in our water, and there's fluoride in toothpaste, and there's fluoride in some drinks. So it's heavy in our environment, and we ingest it from birth, basically. And it's, over time, will calcify our pineal gland. So that being said, there are ways to decalcify it, and one of them is chanting and meditating, and that's what we're going to do today. And then there's diet. You can remove fluoride from your diet. You don't need to go to the dentist and get fluoride in your mouth. You don't have to buy toothpaste with fluoride on it. You don't have to drink water with fluoride in it. So we can remove that from our body to help decalcify that. And there's also, did not write it down, so I'm going to totally forget it right now, but there is a food product that it's like a paste, tamarind paste, that's what it's called. So there's a tamarind paste that you can just rub on your third eye, and a lot of people do that. People use it to cook with, but it is because it's an herb, or it's from a seed. I think it's from a seed, actually. But it's been known to help decalcify your pineal gland. So that's another thing that you can do, and I'll put that in the comments and with a little link of what that actually is. And then, so even eating it would be helpful, since it's helpful just to rub it on the outside of your body. And then one of the things that I do to help also with when I really want to tune in to my intuition and focus on my third eye is to use essential oils. So right now in my diffuser, I have a blend of frankincense oil from, I don't know if we can all see that, from doTERRA. You can't read it, it shows up backwards anyway. Frankincense oil. And I also have a Palo Santo oil, not from doTERRA. You have to buy that special somewhere else. But I mix those two together because I love the smell of both of them, but frankincense oil is really good for helping tune into your higher self. So you could rub it on your body, you could rub it on your third eye, you could rub it on the base of your skull. You can use it for almost anything health-wise, but for meditation specifically, I love to diffuse it because then it's constantly in the air and I'm ingesting and inhaling it. I also like to just rub it on my third eye, which I did earlier. So getting back to what the function and what can happen, what we might see if our third eye is balanced or open. We begin to witness the world without judgment. So we see things around us, we see things in our life, we see things in the world, and we can let judgment go. We can just see them as they are and accept them as they are. That's not 100% easy for everybody, but it's the more we work on it, the easier it becomes. We can perceive not only what is within or with our senses, but also beyond our senses. So beyond our senses meaning that we can perceive maybe other realms, that's a good way to describe it, other energies that are unseen. Oh, hey Owen. Owen's here. Owen's right in on the action. Tap his third eye. You cannot get in front of the camera. Move it. Here, come back here. It's your spot. Okay, we would also be able to, like I said, move beyond our senses. So being able to focus just in general a lot better, having a very vivid imagination. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you are visually imaginative, because I had a really hard time with that at first, thinking that because I don't see things, like I don't create images when I'm meditating, that I'm not doing it right. But there's other ways of knowing, of having that we call it clairvoyance when we can see, but there's clairaudience, there's clairsentience, which we feel or we sense. There's a couple others. Sue's sitting here. I keep looking over at her like she's gonna just we're activating our third eyes so we can communicate here. What's the other one? It's clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. I think there's like 4, but anyway, there's other ways of knowing or seeing. So if you don't have such a vivid image imagination, don't think you're not tuning in. There's also, it would be like someone who's very intuitive, who just knows what is happening, and who psychics, we would consider their third eye very open. Mediums who can channel and talk to people who have passed over or communicate with people who have passed over. They're very open and balanced in their third eye. Another thing would be that we become not so attached to the material world, that those things, we may like them, we may want material things, but we don't have such an attachment to them. It's okay if they go away. It's okay if they're not there anymore. And then physically, one of the things that will happen is that both hemispheres of your brain will begin to synchronize. We have 2 sides to our brain, and there is down the middle something called the corpus callosum, and that is basically, if you think of it like an overpass for energy signals. There's literally pathways that go through between each hemisphere of the brain, and there's physical activities that you can do to strengthen that and build those, but there also these meditations and anything else that I've mentioned that will help open the third eye. will help synchronize and create those neural pathways. So that's a pretty cool side effect of having an open third eye. If your third eye is deficient or underactive, you may have lack of discipline in general for things, for getting things done, for a poor memory. You might have fear of success. You might have poor communication or poor, and that includes not only you communicating to others and getting your point across, but also you understanding others. So, and that all, I think that all just ties back to our brain. Your third eye is very much in charge of your brain function. So, if you may not be able to really tune in to yourself and your own energy and what's really going on around you. You may not be able to trust your intuition. So you could be so open that you're just not understanding what's going on. That's pretty rare though. But it creates a sense of fear when we are that open, and we not experienced that probably since we were babies. So that would be why we're not trusting our intuition, because we have this sense of fear of what we're suddenly experiencing and knowing. So finding that balance is important. And one of the things that you can do is meditate and just really drop within yourself. We talked last time about in our throat chakra where we could go into that little turtle chakra, which was right below the throat and right above the heart, and really go within and shut out all of our senses. We want to have that same sense of within, and shutting out the external world, but being able to trust and really listen and know, and listen, see, know, whatever it is that stands out for you, and believe what is coming to you when you're meditating. I think that's the one of the most challenging things for me, is to really believe it. I always say it because I'm more clairaudient, and I always say that I want the voice to be a different voice, not my own voice. If I heard some other voice, like a little child or a man whispering instead of my own voice in my head, then I would be much more trusting of my intuition. But I have learned that it's my own voice, and that I really, when it comes to me, I really need to trust it. And it has not failed every time I have trusted it. So I want to start today's meditation with, I'm going to read one of Shauna's chakra cards, and then I want to do a round of, then I'm just going to guide you through a visual meditation with the singing bowl and chimes and stuff. So I could have read all about the pineal gland right here, which is what I'm going to do. This one is called Connect. And the pineal gland, actually I like this picture. I'm going to hold it up here. The pineal gland is a pine cone shaped gland residing in the brain. And it's located, like I said, directly between the eyebrows. So obviously behind your skull and in your brain. But this gland is responsible for our connectedness to ourself, our inner knowledge, our spirituality, and our intuition. All those things that help us construct a definition for what we believe. So science, like I mentioned earlier, has shown that this gland is real, and that we can notice when it's calcified or frozen, and that's because of the pollutants, mainly fluoride-filled whatever we consume. So this card is just a reminder to be clean in what we put in our body, and connect to it by meditating on that space in between our brows. So when we meditate tonight, we will actually focus on that space. And then if you can think back, this says connect to the first 10 years of your life, when all you had was inner wisdom and true knowledge of yourself and your beliefs, all untainted by calcification. Transition back to who you are today, and those same beliefs are still within you. So what we're going to do tonight is connect with who you are because it's always who you have been. That is our goal for our meditation tonight, is to connect with who we are, who we always have been, what's deep inside us. So find a comfortable position. You can lie down or sit down, whatever's going to be comfortable for you. I have to move my leg because it's falling asleep. And gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in with an open mouth exhale. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead and your palms together. And as you exhale, bring your hands down through the center, your thumbs resting on your third eye and between your brow. And we'll begin with the sound of Om, chanting. We'll do 3 rounds. So take a deep breath in. Roll your eyes up and focus on the center in between your brow, in between your eyes. Take another deep breath in. And one more Om. Gently bring your hands down through your heart center and then release them onto your lap or on your side. Focusing your eyes still up in between your brow, rolling them gently up towards the top of your head. Imagine that in your mind, in your brain, is a lake. Notice how big the lake is. Notice the color of the lake. And at first you may only see waves on the surface of the lake. How big are those waves? What other activity is going on in that lake? And then imagine that you are out in that lake. Maybe you're on a boat or a raft. Maybe on a paddleboard. Or maybe you're swimming or floating out in the middle of the lake. And then imagine that a large, beautiful diamond is dropped into the water. Begin to gaze down and look at the gemstone shining as it drops further into the water, down into the lake bed, disappearing from your sight. Notice how the ripples in the water expand as the diamond has dropped. Notice how the water may become murky or muddy, and you lose focus of that diamond. and watch the water. Stay focused on the diamond even though you cannot see it. Begin to notice any thoughts that come up, anything to interrupt you from seeing the diamond. Don't interrupt those thoughts. Let them flow. Let them ripple out with the waves. Try to gently focus all of your attention back on the diamond. And as I play the singing bowl, watch the waters clear. Watch the diamond appear. And notice any thoughts that may become clearer for you. Maybe the ones that interrupted your search for that diamond come with an answer or an understanding. Focusing on the diamond. Holding on to the image of the diamond. Notice how stilling your mind and focusing on a gem brings a silent, profound inner calm. Let the image of the diamond begin to fade and allow the silence to envelop you by focusing all of your senses on the silence. The silence is the peace within, which provides us with understanding. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. And know that you can come back to this space at any time by focusing on your third eye and going within. You can use the visualization, or you can take a few deep breaths and focus on the silence. Really feel the silence with all of your senses. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you know and understand? Take another deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Feel the awareness coming back into your body. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring movement to your ankles and wrists, your legs and arms. Maybe stretch or wiggle or twist. So that was the third eye meditation. One of the things that I didn't talk about earlier was, and this could be a whole different meditation workshop that I do, but I will touch on it briefly because I think I did in the introduction as well, of the introduction of the chakra meditations that I did a few weeks ago. So we have lots, like 72,000 energy channels running through our body, some little tiny ones and some huge ones, and our three major ones, we call those energy channels nadis, by the way. So we have three major nadis, one running from the base of our pelvic area, our tailbone, all the way up our center and up out through the crown chakra. That's called our Sushumna nadi. We also have one that begins at the bottom left, like our pelvic area. It's called the Ingala nadi, and that is, no, I'm sorry, it's called the Ida, I-D-A, Ida nadi, and that runs in like a spiral up around that Sushumna nadi, up where it meets another one, which I'll talk about in a second, at our third eye. The one on the right is called the Pingala nadi, and again, it just intertwines around that main one and meets the Ida. So they all meet at our third eye. The Ida is our emotions. It's our emotive energy. And the Pingala is our physical sensations. So both of those come together with our main energy source to the divine. And that all meets in our third eye center. So it's very, we're tuning in, we're activating a lot of energy, I guess you should say, if we're focusing on our third eye. We're really asking a lot out of our energy system. And if any of our other chakras are imbalanced, it can cause a problem with that. If our third eye is imbalanced, it can cause a problem with our other chakras. So the idea is that we get all of these working and functioning like, gears in a machine, so that they're all functioning and balanced and working well together, so that we can have a balanced energetic body, but also have a balanced heart, mind, soul. And third eye is a great one to focus on because it tends to be the one that we have lost connection with the most. So please come back to this meditation as many times as you want or need to. I want to close off with reading this one. I think this says open, and it's pictures of eyes open. And it says, it is only when we pay attention, when we open our eyes, that we can truly see all that. We are, we feel, we have, we live, we believe, we can be. Pay attention to yourself. Open your eyes and see all that is you. So I want to also talk about I talked about the oils. Again, I'll reiterate those. The frankincense oil is a really good one. I know there's a lot of other oils. Sandalwood's pretty good. Myrrh is pretty good. But frankincense is my favorite. And then I also use Palo Santo oil because that just helps clear the energy of the space as well. And then I have not a freaking clue, and I cannot remember what the name of this crystal is. So if anyone knows, feel free to comment. But this is a really profound one for meditation, for activating your third eye. And I don't want to name it incorrectly, but just notice how it's like a purplish color, and it's very shimmery and almost flaky. You can see that it's, if I dropped it too hard, it's definitely flaky and would crack off. So that's just a really, there's also a ton of crystals that are really good for meditating and activating. This is another good one. Again, I have no idea what it's called, but it's really cool, and you can kind of like see through it. But that's another really good one, at least for me. And it works really well for me I can feel it like vibrating in my hands most of the time. So then, so those are two things that, two crystals. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight, this time I did not have a piece of Adelaide's art. I had a piece of my all-time favorite piece by my friend Kaya. She's Kaya Love on Facebook, Kayah, and I'll put that in there. But it's my favorite third eye painting, and I love it. She's an amazing artist. And then this is my personal favorite one that I did myself, and it says "Go Within." And I have it hanging up as a reminder, like, to stop bringing everything from outside. Like, it's all within me. So that's all I've got for you tonight. Thank you for joining me, and thanks, Sue, for sitting over here holding some serious space tonight. And then I think Owen finally went down there. Thank Owen for holding space with us tonight. I have announcements, actually. I lie, I'm not done. My announcements are Sonic Meditation this Friday night, if you're local, at Tri-Power Yoga. It's the first one, and we'll be doing them every month, and then hopefully also getting some other locations so we can do them more than once a month. So that is $20 if you go on tripower.org and sign up ahead of time. Otherwise, it's $25 at the door. Then I just noticed the comments, and somebody said claircognizant, so thank you. I try not to pay attention to those because I'm trying to focus on speaking and not getting distracted. And then I just noticed a couple people saying like, oh, I finally made it. And oh, wait, just kidding. I guess I didn't because I'm at the end. But it's recorded, so come back and listen. As soon as we're done, you can listen again. So Sonic Meditation, Friday night, 7 p.m., Tri-Power Yoga, and it's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. I went and played with the lighting again, or learned about the lighting and played with that today, and it's just going to be an awesome sound healing experience. And then I am also hosting a yoga sound healing retreat at the end of October 28th through the 30th in Joshua Tree. There are 8 spaces left, and I will be doing yoga and sound healing, and then we will have some amazing guests with us as well. Adrian Ortiz will be doing a guided meditation and throwing out his mad life coach skills to everyone. And then Samantha Tippy, who is organizing this, you'll just see her amazing organization skills. She'll also be cooking for us. She's awesome in the kitchen. And then Allison Shea and Elaine will be doing Elaine Davis, sorry, will be doing just they'll be helping with some of the yoga activities. So we have a lot of fun things planned for that, and it will be a full weekend of activities. So you have the option to do a couple of other things. We also have a woman coming she makes malas, so she is offering as an option if someone wants to buy a mala kit that she'll do a little mala class. We're going to go see some sustainable land out there in Joshua Tree, and then we're going to get in this really awesome freaking sacred geometry portal machine thing. I don't even know what to call it. I'm sure there is an actual name for it, but it is amazing. So we're going to explore the land and then get in that and then do a guided meditation. We're going to do some aqua yoga, some yoga nidra. Oh, I totally forgot. Erica Appenzeller will be doing esoteric acupuncture, and esoteric acupuncture is based on sacred geometry shapes and where she places the needles, and that's to really like open up our hearts. And that's actually what we're going to begin with. It'll be me doing sound healing, her doing the acupuncture to really open us up, and then Allie will be guiding a divine yoga nidra for us. So that's how we're going to start our evening. But you can look for Desert Bliss Yoga Getaway Retreat on Facebook and look at more of the information on that. There's details, and the early bird pricing is $250, and that ends, I extended it, that ends on Sunday. So, and there's payment options available too, so you can just message me if you're interested in that. Oh, we're also going to do a tea ceremony, which will be there's just so many things. I don't want to give it all away right now. But we're going to do a really cool tea ceremony during the second evening, and we will be doing some mask, sort of Halloweenish, but more tearing down our own masks at fire ceremony. And so now I just gave it all away. I'm not saying anything else. You'll have to just keep watching the updates. Anyway, that should be really exciting. So hopefully you guys will be able to make it to either of those events coming up soon. And if not, I will see you next week for the crown chakra meditation. Have an amazing week, and thanks again for joining and tuning into your third eye. Namaste.